Hello again, ladies and gentlemen, Saki here, and welcome back to another episode of American Truck Simulator. And as you can see, we are driving the Volvo today. When we look at the world map, we are going from Farmington to Raton, and we've got some interesting switchbacks. I think we might have done this route before, but instead of doing what we did before, we are driving the big tires for that big, massive loader that we did in the last episode. I'm not familiar with the Volvo, so let's go ahead and start her up and see what we look like in here. Parking brake is on. We'll go ahead and set that. Cruise control there. Windshield wipers on. And let's roll out, Autobots. Looks like between 10 and 1500 RPM is our goal. We'll be making a left turn out of here first and foremost. Luckily, the police have blocked the way, and no one's coming on the inside, so we can rotate through. It looks like maybe these tires are just more heavier than they are long or wide. They're sticking out just a touch, so we'll keep an eye out on that. One thing I don't like about the Volvo already is I can't see the mirrors from right here in the standard position. Might have to scoop my seat back, but it's not my truck. I'm not going to worry about it too awful much. Is the police officer going to roll straight on through? He is, or she. No need to discriminate against officers. Both men and women of the law need to be respected. And off we go. Is the rain letting up? Looks like it might be. I'll go ahead and turn off the wipers. So there's a new community event kicking off this month. I don't know how long it's going to be in place, but it's do some external contracts hauling big giant Christmas ornaments, and each game, both American Truck Sim and Euro Truck Simulator, have 12 deliveries each to do, and if you do all 12 deliveries in both games, you get yourself a nice interior holiday decoration, which they described as cute. I might have to spend some free time doing that. In fact, by the time you see this, hopefully I will have already streamed. But one thing that we can do for streaming is do the holiday deliveries, wherever they may be. Seems like a pretty good deal. A better deal than running up on that curb, I say. But I've never actually done one of those external contracts. I do have my SCS account or my World of Trucks account all set up and ready to go. It's just I never actually tried to do an external contract before. So it might be some good stream fuel, some chill driving, delivering lots of Christmas ornaments to get that interior decoration. Now, I don't have any interior decoration DLC, so I don't know how that will work, or if I would need the DLC to sort of activate the cute item. But I'm all about free stuff, and I was thinking about what I wanted to stream, and, you know, American Truck Sim seems to be a very good option to just sit back, interact with the chat, see some stuff, do some driving, you know, and fulfill a community event, which is really cool stuff. I'll leave the heavy haul stuff for the YouTube series, and for the stream, just focus on the community events. Come on, officer. It's 40 through here. Oh, state police, what are you doing? Because I backtraced it, and you've been reported to cyber police and the state police. Massive points if you know what that's from. Internet memes and all that good stuff. All right, getting out on the open road here. I don't know how many gears we got. We're up to 16. Do we have 18 in this boy? We do have 18 gears, 40 miles an hour for the cruise, and we're just going to cruise 6 hours and 37 minutes. We'll be there right after 6 o'clock, assuming nothing bad happens. Utility pole work being done off to the side. And I don't know how far to the left my tires are. I imagine if I, ride the right side of the road, the tires won't be no mine. But definitely if this was my truck, I would move the seat back quite a lot. I don't like being blind in the mirror and having to use the mouse to look at the mirrors at all times. I just like to glance and see what's on my left, if that's... Holy crap. Oh, that was rain. I thought a freaking plane was going down. I saw a raindrop streak across the windshield. I'm like, oh crap, this is new. But to no avail. Yeah, it was just rain. I don't know if YouTube compression is going to pick up on that, but it was right in the sky, streaking from right to left as I saw it, and it looked like it was going to slam into the ground. But I hope your weekend is going well. I don't know how my weekend has gone yet because I'm recording this in the future where we have wall-mounted keyboards. But I hope yours went well, and I hope mine goes well too. I had to pee in a cup today. Now, you're thinking, what, were you driving and just couldn't hold it? No, this was for a new higher position. Basically, the company that I work for lost their contract at my current location, and now I have to apply with the new guys, which requires the whole reapplication process, going through the interviews again, going through the background check again, peeing in a cup again. And one thing I will say is if you've never been in the Army, you don't know how an Army urinalysis works. But let's just say it's a little more personal than a civilian urinalysis. Today at the clinic, just told, here's a little room, go into the room, don't flush the toilet, pee up to the line, and Bob's your uncle comes straight back out. The Army is completely different. The Army will, tell you about a urinalysis, and if you can't go, you sit in the day room for until you're ready to go. Probably buy yourself a soda, get the bladder working, and then the old meat gazers will follow you back to the urinal and basically want to see it. Now, some are a little bit more lenient with the rules than others, but as it is the Army and there's an SOP for everything, standard operation procedure says that you must see the pee go into the cup. You don't necessarily have to see where it's coming from, but you must see the pee go into the cup. And no NCO, no sergeant really enjoyed that stuff, I don't think. If they did, they're a bold-faced liar. Or maybe they did. But yeah, we had a system in the Army, especially if we had a Christmas party or something like that, or it was right after Christmas or New Year's, or a bunch of people just got back on leave. The commanders wanted not to question your ability to stay away from drugs, but they just wanted to ensure that all of their soldiers were still doing the right thing. And there was a company-wide urinalysis, or sometimes your social security number was selected from a hat, in which case you had to be prepared to pee at a moment's notice, which, if you know anything, it's peeing, holding your pee for a long period of time isn't good. Well, at least the company did it on at regular times. So if it was a butt crack 30 urinalysis, you were woken up from your bed anyway, and you probably had to pee. So you knew if you were woken up at 3:30 in the morning by the CQ soldier running up and down the barracks hallways screaming, urinalysis, get downstairs, to hold it, which is very kind of them. Another peak time that they would provide urinalysis would be before PT, physical training. So you get down to morning formation and you get ready to run, and people are like, well, I can't run on a full bladder. Well, that is the risk that you take. You either have to prepare yourself to run on a full bladder, just in case your name was called for the urinalysis, or you went to the bathroom right before formation and then were told, guess what? You have to go to the bathroom again right now. So that's always fun. There was a few lunchtime urinalysis. So once you got back from lunch, you didn't go to the bathroom until you were absolutely sure that you were going back to work. And then right before final formation, during the final formation, when they let everyone go home, that's when they would announce who gets to participate in the after-hours urinalysis. Now, you were free to go as soon as you peed in a cup, so it was in your best interest to drink a lot of fluid during your afternoon work hours and hold it during the final formation. So if your name was called, you just ran in there, say, I'm ready, go pee in a cup, and you might get away from the company sooner than some of the other soldiers who didn't have the urinalysis. But if you were the poor schmuck who just couldn't hold it and had to pee at the end of the day, it may take you an hour or two extra to get home. So, that's my urinalysis story, and I'm sticking to it. Yeah, nothing really much to say about that. I feel like Forrest Gump. That's all I have to say about that. One time in Vietnam, I had to go pee in a cup. It was big old fat pee. It came in from the side. It was big old fat pee, little stinging pee. Pee even came from the bottom. Old Forrest Gump. There's a lot of Volvos on the road here. And it feels odd to be driving one. I haven't, sat down and thought. Obviously, I can't see my mirror. So something is different. But, to see Volvo down here, and I can't even see the steering wheel, man. Like, I can't. It's like, in order to drive the way I want to, I'd be looking like this. Which kind of feels like I've just had a stroke, and my head's sort of like drooping down to the left-hand side. It's like, I can make it. Oh, speaking of making it, we're about to make a left-hand turn here. Now, hopefully, the officer will block traffic. Now, we have been down this road before. Is that red car going to stop? Yes, indeed, and we will get in front of him. Nice. That's right, little red sports car. You get to follow big honking semi. I don't recognize this road. Now that we're on it. Nice. Maya, $1,200. We're over $1 million. And I haven't been able to do any garage and truck purchasing, as you can see. Otherwise, I wouldn't have $1 million. But I have definitely enough to fill up a garage, at least the basic level, and probably upgrade to the next one and buy a 4th truck as well. All right, so things are about to get a little bit iffy around here. We've got a sharp hairpin turn coming up. I imagine the speed limit for this thing is going to drop as well, but I'll keep an eye on it just in case. Yeah, the state trooper slowing down. 30 is our speed limit, so let's just drop it into gear here, riding 12th. Set her for 30 and see what we can do. Keep the RPMs up high a little bit. It looks like we've got a hill to climb. And those poor people behind us. Extreme tires. Those poor people. Especially since we got a Hemi Dodge Ram behind us, and I'm sure he's saying, truckers say that you need to get off the road, son. Oh, nice. I'm used to people coming in opposite lanes. Slow that thing right down, and we might actually get back up to 40. Hey, we're the monkeys. Sweet. So hopefully that officer picks up some steam. We'll be up to 40 in no time flat. What is he? Did you break down? Interesting. I don't know if the broken down police car is part of any coding that this game may have. Now I know, police cars can break down. They stress to the officers about preventive maintenance and do your 360-degree walks, and if you take it to the garage for your oil changes at every 3,000 miles or whatnot, especially since you usually drive your vehicle pretty hard from time to time. It's a good measure. So it's not unrealistic that a police car could break down, but I imagine it is strongly looked down upon if your vehicle breaks down on you, because you've probably not maintained your vehicle, or you just, let it go. The Rio Grande Gorge Bridge. Grand tires over a Grand Gorge. Jeez. It's like the dang Grand Canyon, man. That's awesome. And that's one thing I haven't seen in, whoa, sorry Volvo. That's one thing I haven't seen in real life, are these massive Earth shapes, like, you know, features of the Earth. I'm not really a nature type person, if I'm honest. If you said you can have one house, you can have it in the suburbs, you can have it in the city, or you can have it in the country, I'd probably pick the city, just because it's so easy to get to place. You never have to travel far. You're probably not too far from work. I know the suburbs is the typical American dream feel, where you get your peace of mind and your kids can go play outside and play basketball as the sun goes down, and then you make the 40-minute commute into town and fight the city traffic. But I don't need a yard. I don't need a whole lot of space. I would be the guy that, if I had won the lottery, say those Mega Millions, which ended up getting $1 billion, and they, you know, I would go house shopping, I wouldn't look for really anything bigger than like a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, maybe a 1.5 bath, maybe 2 tops. But, you know, I can only sleep in one place, and I can only poop in one place, or pee in one place with a cup. So, I mean, I don't need 6 bathrooms, 10 bedrooms, a lounge, a basketball court, none of that. But I would be the guy who would put either an oval track in my backyard. Like, just imagine for a minute, I'm a billionaire. And it's like, make your ideal landscape. You know, you were going to live on this land. What do you want? And I would just pick a very small house. It's easy to heat. It's easy to keep cool. It's easy to maintain. You don't have to worry about a whole awful lot. And then in the backyard would be a 1/4 mile high-banked racetrack, something like Bristol. Obviously no grandstands the size of Bristol. It wouldn't be the Coliseum. But I think that's what I would do. Like, either that or like a performance track. Now, I wouldn't have a lot of vehicles. I would probably have a racing car, a stock car, maybe, you know, like an ARCA car or a K&N car, something like that, something with some horsepower to it to play around on that bank. And you could even take your street cars on it. I mean, why not? I don't know, does Bristol Motor Speedway have free driving days? I know some NASCAR tracks do. You pay a certain amount and you get to drive your car on the track. I know Kentucky Speedway has such opportunities as these. And then other racetracks have racing experiences. And once upon a time, I got to do the Jeff Gordon Mario Andretti Racing School. And that was back in 2007, March 2007. I remember it plain as day. And I don't remember if that was mine and Brandon's first time to Charlotte, is when we went and did that, or not. But I can remember, because I got out of the Army in February 17th. I got out of the Army, and it was a big dream of ours just to go race, you know, stock cars. And I just got back from deployment, so, you know, a lot of tax-free dollars earned and no opportunity to spend it. So I asked him if he would be keen on heading down to Charlotte and doing a racing experience with me. And he did. He did the 8-lap event, I believe, 8 laps around Charlotte Motor Speedway. And I went full bore. I did the 40 laps. And it paid off to do the 40 laps, because the way the program was sort of set up is your instructors would take you at a certain speed. And it didn't matter if you got the 8-lap experience or the 40-lap experience, everyone started at the same speed. So the instructor would, you know, run the same RPM around the racetrack. And even then it was 120 or 130, just starting out. Just to get you familiar with the car and show you that those things can grip around the banking. I mean, you imagine this very heavy race car on these very narrow tires, comparatively speaking to open wheel, and you look at how steep the banking is, and you know, that's Charlotte, it's 24 degrees. It is nowhere near as steep as Bristol or Talladega or Daytona, and you just sink into that banking, and it is truly like a roller coaster. You just feel pressed into your seat, and when you turn the wheel, it grips. Like when you turn it, it doesn't feel like the car should rotate, but it does. Now granted, I'm sure they had it set up to be fairly snug so the back end wouldn't kick out from under you if you got back into the gas or something, or just regular rotation, the car wouldn't get out from under you. They had it set up to neutral tight is how the instructors described it. We set the cars up neutral tight. So we go barreling into these turns and, you know, gripping the wheel. And after 8 laps, you know, each lap the instructor would go a little bit faster, increases RPM up a few hundred RPM each and every lap until you got done with the 8. So everyone came in at the end of 8 laps. That's sort of how they kept track of everybody. So, you know, no one got to do extra who didn't pay for extra, and then those that paid for extra could come in and still talk to their instructor and everything. So Brandon came in and everyone got to watch, and I believe I was the only one that paid for that many laps. So I was on a track all on my own. But one of the most eye-opening experiences in a stock car for me during that was passing someone. So you had to follow your instructor, stay right in their tire tracks. If they sped up, you sped up. If they slowed down, you slowed down, and you just stayed in the racing line. Now the instructors, either they could communicate with one another in real time, or the instructors just had a written code or a rule that faster cars passed on the right at all times. And they said, you know, there may be cars out there, and depending on how fast you're going or how slow you're going, you will be in traffic. And we're like, holy crap. But, you know, there were only 4 or 5 people driving that day, so the chances of us running into someone was slim to none, especially when, you know, everyone left at the same time, and then everyone on their first set of laps ran the same speed. So there physically was no opportunity to run up onto someone. Well, little did I know that someone didn't get off the line at the time I did. So as I was going around, I was on my second run, and someone else had showed up late to the party. So they were getting ready to do their 8 laps, which of course is the slowest of the pace. So here I come, I'm on like lap 16 or 18, and I'm a 500 or 600 RPM faster at this point. You know, almost 1,000, because I believe they ran at 5,000 RPM. I was pushing 6 to 6,100 RPM going around the track. I don't know how, you know, if you knew what rear end gear I was running, you could probably tell me exactly how many miles an hour different that is for all you gearheads out there, but I couldn't tell you. So we come off of turn 2, and I'm following my instructor, and I've got a car length between me and him. So the rule was, if you want to go faster, just stay within a car length of your instructor. He'll look up in the mirror, and every lap, he'll increase his speed at the start-finish line. So I wanted to be sure to go as fast as the instructor would let me go. And we come off of turn 2, and we start heading down the backstretch, and from racing 2K3, I instinctively look to the left to see if there are any cars merging onto the track, and then I glance up to the right to see if there's anyone in my mirror. And it's just like muscle memory from sim racing so much. Well, I look, and when I get my eyes out of the mirror, I looked further down the racetrack, and sure enough, there was another 2-car tango. The instructor was in front, and another person was coming out for their 8 laps. So I'm like, oh, we're going to clear them by the straightaway. No, we didn't clear them by the straightaway, the end of the straightaway. We started going into the 3rd turn. And I remember not closing my eyes, but really gripping the steering wheel hard, because the instructor was keeping that car on the very bottom of the racetrack. And the whole time, I had run the racing line right behind my instructor, so we would arc off the wall down to the white line. Well, there was no arcing to the white line, otherwise we was going to have a face full of student, right? So he goes right up to the wall and he almost rim rides. So I'm like, okay, if his car can do it, mine can do it. And we just fling to the outside, and it felt a lot faster than it actually happened. Because I remember going through turn 3 and we were making the pass. I'm looking at the wall and how close I am coming out of 4. And when we come off the dogleg, my first thought was, I have hit this wall so many times in NASCAR racing, I am just going to knock this thing down. But I didn't. We came off the wall, straight shot, and I looked up in my mirror, and I got goosebumps, because the instructor's car was a Jimmy Johnson Cobalt Tools special paint scheme car. So I looked up, and I looked in my mirror, and I saw him duck behind me to getting back into the racing line, and for that brief instant, I lost myself and thought that I had just passed Jimmy Johnson on the outside at Charlotte Motor Speedway coming down to the line. And that was intense. That 5 seconds, 10 seconds, whatever that was more than worth the money. For sure, hands down. Since then, I got a job that doesn't afford me opportunities to take vacation. Like, we can't keep people. People leave. People, move on to other jobs. They take higher paying jobs or less stressful jobs. And who's left but me and the diehards that are still there and have been for some time? And it's like, well, I would have liked to take vacation during this week, but guess what? We're 3 people down. And we're a 24/7, 365 job. Someone has to be there at all times, rain or shine, snow or slush, hurricane or tornado. Someone is always there. And it's like, well, I can't take vacation now. Thanks guys. But I would love to get back to a track and do something like that. I heard like the Dale Jarrett Racing School at like Bristol, there is no instructor car. You get in and you just go as fast as you want. And I think that would be pretty good for me. I think I could get the stomach enough to think, I've done this in a sim. It's stuck in a simulator. It's going to stick now. And I just sort of keep telling myself that. Lights on for safety. But yeah, I want to do that. I have enough money saved up because it's almost like Iraq. I've gotten all this overtime pay and no opportunity to spend it. No vacation to take. I mean, Christmas put a little dent in the finances, but still, if I wanted to just go drive a race car one day, it wouldn't hurt me none. So I need to get back to that. I need to do that. And imagine if there was a GoPro. I imagine some racing experiences do have GoPro footage. There's one GoPro footage I do have of me. I had a Groupon coupon and went up to Indianapolis to drive a Lamborghini Gallardo around. What they did is they sectioned off turn 1. So it was sort of like the apron and then the little access road in the infield. And they set it up almost like an autocross. They put some cones down. You actually drove up like onto the banking for a little bit, and then you came down pit road backwards and turned around at the end of pit road. But, I've done that, and that was fun. Those are the types of things that I need to get back to, and I do have GoPro footage from that experience. And you know what? I never actually thought about putting it on my channel. I might just do that, rabbit. I might. But definitely, if I do another NASCAR experience, I'll want a GoPro, for sure. I do have a GoPro. I don't know if they would let me keep the GoPro in the car to film, but that would be intense indeed. They didn't film me at the Jeff Gordon racing experience from inside the car because they were getting ready for a TV show. that I believe you can still see clips of on YouTube. It was a one-time deal. It wasn't, I don't know if it was meant to be a series that could be renewed, but it was called Fast Cars and Superstars. And all you have to do is Google William Shatner woo, and you will see the clip. Like, the most famous clip from the show is William Shatner driving the car that I actually drove. And going around the racetrack, he kept saying, like, woo, woo, woo. And it was pretty funny. And he's like, that's how I concentrate. I think Tony Hawk ended up winning, spoiler alert, Tony Hawk ended up winning the whole thing. Lane change maneuver. So we have to get ready here. Lead car goes in. We follow. Bob's your uncle. But I got my timesheet from that Jeff Gordon Racing School, and I think my average time around Charlotte was 168, something like that, 168. And that was an average speed, so if you watch racing, and especially oval racing, you know that the straightaways are faster than the corners. So I believe 160, I forgot, like Neil deGrasse Tyson has the math on this, how fast a stock car could go around the banking at Charlotte Motor Speedway in like an ideal situation. And I think it was like 164. I don't think I hit 164 in the turns, but I wasn't too far off because down the straights, you know, we were able to pick up some speed. So I'll look for that footage. But we are here. Thanks for keeping me company on this journey. We're going to get a nice wide entry through here. Thank you, officer. Hopefully this is a straighter pull in. Yes, a much straighter pull in than last time where we were all kinds of confused. Hey, NBC. All right, here we go. With nary a scratch on it, on time, good to go. It was really just sort of sticking out to the side. It wasn't that heavy. It didn't feel like it was a bad trailer to do. No forward, please. There we go. Drop the trailer. Lower the legs. Get us out of here. Chewy, get us out of here. There we go. Your dumpster has arrived, part 2. All we need is the bucket, and that is haul number 4. Big in America, 4 out of 11. I don't think we're going to level up next time, but we shouldn't be too far from it. But that is going to do it for me in this episode of American Truck Simulator. Ladies and gentlemen, it was fun. But like, share, and subscribe if you are so bold. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you in the next American Truck Sim video. Take care.